aboard a boat which will take them to China. For the first time in a long while, the twins who are with Martin and Professor Ledoux believe themselves to be out of reach of the terrible eunuchs. Alarmed to learn from Captain Detail that the ship is to make a number of stops on its way to China, Jules decides to find a way of using the power to speed up the journey, despite the appearance of Giovan, who warns him not to do it. Jules enlists Julie's reluctant help, and the two of them use their power against Captain Detail to make him order a change of direction, which means missing the Greek stop, to the amazement of the crew and passengers. In the meantime, Po Dun, the head of the eunuchs, is scouring the Mediterranean for their whereabouts, and the Empress Dowager, back in China, entrusts to Ho Cheng, her ruthless magician, the task of intercepting the twins.
What's going on? Is that you, Giovan?
Yes, it is me, if you're sure you want to see me.
What do you mean? Of course I do.
All right, it is me in that case.
And the sailor I saw earlier, that was you, I suppose.
Again, it's up to you to decide.
I thought a lot about it. You did all you could to warn me. Were you trying to tell me I was going wrong?
Well, I could have been.
But there was no choice. I had to. The ship was going to stop everywhere.
Then you were doing what you thought was best, and if it turns out to have been a mistake, you should try to learn something from it. But now listen to me. It's important to think first.
Yes, of course it is. But I had no choice. I don't see what else I could have done.
As long as you're convinced you're right.
It's difficult to be absolutely sure. I think I was right. That's all. If you don't agree with what I did...
It's not up to me to decide whether you're right or wrong. What I think is neither here nor there. You have to decide.
Well, then I really do think I was right.
If you're sure you acted for the best, it'll be all right. But you're still responsible for the consequences. All the consequences. And you must see your decisions through to the end.
Hold on, I don't understand what you mean.
I mean whatever you want me to mean, and no more.
Hey, Giovan! What did he mean? Could there be something else I'm forgetting about? Of course, the radio! I completely forgot about that. By the power of the light, let all radio equipment on this ship cease to function within the next second.
Captain! Captain!
What is it? Come in, come in.
I'm sorry to disturb you, sir, but we got a serious problem with the radio.
What's the matter with it?
I don't know. Mr. Clemenza just said it doesn't work anymore.
Let's go and see.
But, Captain, it was working all right last night when I transmitted the weather reports. I can't understand it.
Now we're really in a mess. Without the radio, we're cut off from the outside world. We'll have to get it fixed at once.
I'm doing my best, Captain, but I'm afraid it could take a while. You're not going to believe this, but the wires seem to have melted.
Carry on, Clemenza. I'm sure you can fix it.
Hello, radio room here? Yeah, the captain's here with me. Right, I'll tell him at once. Gatto says he needs you right now on the bridge, Captain.
Let's go up and see what's happening. This complicates matters. You see, Bonacera, one of the passengers did warn me that a Greek terrorist organization may try to attack us.
Huh?
Apparently, they'll stop at nothing to prevent us delivering our cargo of arms to Argostolian.
So that's why you decided to change course.
Captain, what's going on? I've heard that we've changed course and we're not going to Greece anymore.
I beg your pardon, sir. I must get up to the bridge.
But I must get to Greece. I've business in Argostolian, and I have to have an explanation.
And you shall have one, I assure you, later.
No, I want it now.
Sir, if you'll excuse me for the moment, I'll explain everything later.
But wait! Captain, I demand...
Believe me, sir, the captain only has a passenger's safety in mind.
I know I have to get this boat to China as quickly as I can. But what I can't for the life of me understand is why.
But I promise you that's exactly how it happened, Julie. He was standing in front of me listening to everything I said and giving me some good advice. In fact, I'm sure he told me to disconnect the radio.
Oh, Jules, I've helped you till now, but I won't anymore if you tell lies like that.
But I'm not lying. It's the truth I tell you. Listen, maybe what we did wasn't entirely right. Perhaps we did go too far. But we have to put our fathers first. We have no choice.
I know, I never stopped thinking about them. But we were behaving like pirates when we took over the ship. There must be another way.
Well, if you can think of one, you'd better tell me.
Children, it's me, Martin. Open the door, please.
Good morning, Martin. I'm glad you've come now. We were just about to go out for some breakfast.
No, I don't think you'd better go up at the moment. I'll bring you down some breakfast, and you can eat it in here.
Do we have to? Why? What's happening up there?
It looks like there's been a problem. Something must have happened during the night. Something very serious.
Listen here, we got a right to know. Tell us why the boat isn't stopping in Greece.
I paid for my ticket, too. Take me where you said you would when I came on board.
My wife's waiting for me in Augustolia, and she's sick, and she needs me. Would you please trust me? I'm only trying to protect you. Maybe you are, but what from? You'll soon find out. Meanwhile, I ask you all to remain calm. I'll sort this out.
Oh, honestly, I've never heard anything like this in my life. It's outrageous.
Mr. Gatto, are we on course for Port Said?
Aye, sir, as you ordered, sir.
That's good. Maintain course at full speed.
Excuse me, Captain. There's a spot of bother down there. Word's got around amongst the passengers that we're not stopping in Greece.
Don't shout. The last thing we want is to start a panic on board. If word gets out we're being chased by Greek rebels, you'll find out what bother is.
Captain!
That's right, Gatto. You might as well know everything. It's possible we're being followed by terrorists. But neither of you should breathe a word of this to anyone.
Oh, no, Captain, I understand.
Good man, Gatto. I'm depending on you.
Don't worry about that, Captain. You can have every confidence in us. Oh, and sir, I hope you don't mind if I ask, but could you tell me why you decided to head for Port Said rather than for Turkey or Italy?
Come here and take a look at the charts, and you can see why. Now take a good look. We are currently here, and if, as I believe, the terrorists have boats, then I imagine they will attempt to sail around our rear flank to cut off our retreat to Italy here. See?
Oh, yes, I see.
And since they must have their base in Greece, they can easily send ships down in a flanking maneuver to prevent us from making it to a safe harbor in Greece.
Yes, I'm sure they would.
So it seems our only chance is to head due south towards Port Said, where we can take refuge for a short time at least, and from there we can arrange to deliver our cargo. Right. Let's hope we've got enough of a head start on them.
Mind you, the speed we're going, they'll need a good boat to catch us.
Well then, Mr. Bonacera, we'd better pray that it's a bad one.
I hope it is, Captain.
Mr. Bonacera.
Sir?
Go down to the weapons locker and issue guns to all the ship's officers and tell them to carry them 24 hours a day.
Very good, Captain.
I've been thinking, Jules, maybe all Giovanni wanted to tell you just now is that you've done something wrong.
Well, why didn't he just come straight out with it then?
Well, maybe because he wanted you yourself to realize in your own heart that you've made a mistake.
Well, if that was what he was trying to do, he succeeded. To be quite honest with you, I am beginning to wonder if we did the right thing.
What do you mean by we?
All right, then, it was me. I made a mistake. I didn't think it was going to cause so much trouble. I'm really sorry. I don't know what I should do anymore. I feel ill.
Listen, if we caused all this trouble by using the power, perhaps we can use the power to put things back as they were, or at least find a way out of this.
That's it, Julie. All we have to do is put things back exactly as they were before. Of course, it's so simple. Why didn't I think of that myself?
We'll have to use the seventh power again. That's it. Let's go and see the captain.
So all we have to do is remove the suggestion we put in his mind, and he'll go back to sailing to Greece. It shouldn't be difficult.
Now I agree with you, but we better find him before it gets too complicated. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Captain Stavros, the radio operator is unable to raise an answer from the cargo boat Genoa.
I don't understand it. There's no reason why they shouldn't have made for Augustolian as expected.
Unless they were forcibly prevented from doing so, Captain.
You may have a point, Mr. Buttari. They're carrying a large shipment of weapons for Greece, and there must be any number of people who'd like to get their hands on that.
In that case, do you think there may be a group on board who have taken over the ship, Captain?
It is possible, and it would explain why the ship has changed course and broken off communication.
What are the orders, Captain, sir?
We change course. We intercept the ship and then board her.
Aye, aye, Captain Stavros.
Yes, very impressive, Ho Ching. But you don't have to demonstrate your powers to me. Your mastery of magic is already legendary throughout the whole of China.
Your humble priest is unworthy of such high praise.
Oh, but you have earned my sincere compliments, Ho Cheng. If my information is correct, you've been getting plenty of praise recently from all the priests in the land and also from many of the peasants.
If that is indeed the case, Majesty, it is only because they admire my devotion to your highness.
Of course, Ho Cheng. You have served me faithfully in the past. Now will you serve me once again?
You have only to speak, Majesty, and I will obey you.
Your mission is simply to stop those cursed twins from getting here. All right? Use any means at all. I don't care how you do it, just make sure you destroy them.
Yes, I had heard something of the tragic event so far, Majesty.
Do as I tell you, and if you succeed, you will obtain a bountiful reward. It will be a well-deserved one. General Zhang will give you all the details you will need, and the money, too. You are also free to take as many men as you require.
I will require no one except my faithful servant Wu Klu, Majesty. The twins may possess an incredible power, but they are only children and cannot stand up to a magician such as myself.
I hope you speak the truth. I only say this for your own good, Ho Cheng. Do not fail me.
Are we just gonna put up with this? They have no right at all to do this to us.
Certainly not. We have every right to
He's
protest.
changed course and refuses to give us any sort of explanation. Gentlemen, I will not tolerate any mutinies on We're not scared of you.
No, we're not.
Be careful, Captain. We're also carrying weapons.
Yes.
We've had enough. Set a course back to Greece or else. Ah!
I'm very sorry, sir, but I can't let you start a rebellion on this ship.
Hey, who gave him the right to do something like that to me?
That's right. It's time he told us the truth.
All right, you wanted an explanation. Maybe now it's time to give you one. Our ship may be in grave danger from a Greek terrorist boat. I don't see why terrorists should want to attack us. Because we're carrying a major shipment of arms on board to be delivered to the Greek government. Now do you understand? Ha! I don't believe you. He's lying to us. He's just making it all up. Seize the captain, gentlemen, and we'll take over this boat ourselves. We won't be pushed around by them.
Hey, Captain! Captain, look! Boat approaching over there. It looks like a warship.
And it's heading towards us.
So perhaps you'll believe me now.
But that's not a terrorist boat.
You're right, but be careful. It's possible the terrorists have hijacked a Navy boat to surprise us.
We should make radio contact with them to find out who they are.
Our radio is out of action. There are other ways to make contact, but I have no faith in them. In that case, we'll listen to you, Captain. What can we do? Do you have a plan? We must get ready to defend the ship. Everyone go back to your cabins and let us get on with our work. Leave us to sort this out. Excuse me, Captain. I didn't know. I'm sorry about all the trouble. That's all right. I understand. If I'd been in your position, I might well have done the same thing. It's a normal reaction. Good work there, Federico. Very good work.
Oh, thank you very much, Captain.
Onacera, have 2 cannons from the hold brought up on deck and quickly.
But, Captain, we won't stop a Navy warship with 2 miserable little cannons.
We'll do what we have to do when we have to do it, and no one will take this ship while I'm in charge.
We'll never manage to get anywhere near him with all his men there. It's impossible.
All the same, there has to be a way.
Did you hear his orders? He said they're putting cannons up there on the deck to start firing at the other boat. It's all our fault, Jules.
We must get to see the captain.
This is a crazy thing to happen. We wouldn't be in such a mess like this if we hadn't gone...
Yes, I know, Julie, I know. How many times do I have to keep telling you? Look, I'm sorry. It's all my fault. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry I shouted at you like that.
No, I'm the one who ought to apologize. You've done so well to get us this far, and you usually make the right decisions for us.
Yes, until now. But when I make bad decisions, they're really bad.
Everyone makes mistakes. The most important thing is to admit it. And then to put it right as quickly as possible.
Giovanni, it was you I saw last night.
Think about it. Who else could it have been, Jules?
But why did you go away so quickly, Giovanni?
I knew you wouldn't have listened to me if I'd stayed.
How did you get here?
I flew. Although I'm afraid it'll be a good few years yet before you're able to do anything like flying.
So why are you dressed up as a cook?
I do the cooking for the crew. I've always enjoyed a bit of cooking. But we have other things to discuss than my pastimes. There are more important matters.
I know, it's all my fault. I'm the one who got Julie and myself into this mess.
Let's not waste time talking about whose fault it is. We'd do better to find a way out of this, and quickly.
Oh, I wish we could just stop the boat and get off it now. Yes, of course, that's the answer.
What is? I don't understand.
Huh?
If we can't get to the captain, we'll make him come to us instead.
I think you can manage without me for a while now.
Giovanni, wait! Where are you going?
To make some spaghetti. I've got a marvelous old recipe in the galley.
Hey, listen to this, Julie. Here's what we're going to do this time.
We've tried sending semaphore messages to the Genoa, Captain, but there's no reply.
But there's no way they could have missed our signals.
It seems quite clear they mean to ignore us.
Very well, then. We'll send them a message they can't ignore. Prepare the guns to fire one warning salvo across their bow.
Yes, Captain.
That's the fourth time they've signaled us, Captain. The signals say it's a Greek warship, and they're asking us to stop so they can come aboard, sir.
Stop and allow them to board us. If they're terrorists, it'll be too late then. I know what they're capable of. There are women and children aboard. Do you want me to put their lives at risk? Well, do you?
Of course not, Captain, but all the same, we just can't open fire on them. We have no right. No!
They've started firing at us. I think that's all the authorization we need. Load the cannons, Bonacera.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Once we've got down to the engine room, we shouldn't have any trouble stopping the boat, Julie.
I only hope no one's been hurt so far.
This time I'm going to get to the bottom of it.
I really don't understand how they can bear to work down there. It's like a furnace.
That's because it is a furnace, but we're about to cool the whole thing down fast. Quick, give me your hand, Julie. We summon the fifth power to stop the engines.
That ship must have been taken over by terrorists. Only a gang of fanatics would be foolhardy enough not to stop after a warning salvo like that from a warship. Fire a second salvo, Mr. Batari, but this time make it much closer.
And why did they still refuse to stop, sir?
My orders are to stop that ship at any cost.
Yes, Captain, I understand, Captain.
That shot was much closer.
Yes, I noticed that, Mr. Bonacera. Mr. Gatto, after we've returned fire, turn the ship hard to port so we're not presenting our broadside to them, or else we'll be sitting ducks.
Aye, aye, Captain.
It feels like the engines have stopped. Hey, they have stopped, I'm sure of it. I issued no orders to stop them.
Me neither.
Don't just stand there. Go and find out what's going on now. I've given the order. I said full speed ahead.
Look, I didn't order the engines to be stopped. What do you take me for, a fool or something?
Well, whoever did must be an idiot. He'll get us killed. Valente, this is Bonacera. What's going on? What's happening down there, for God's sake? Why have you stopped the engines?
Hey, the engines have stopped. Hey, what's going on here?
Answer me, Valente!
You see my... Well, I can't, Mr. Bonacera. I don't understand. The engine room's... It's glowing, and all the machines have stopped. It's getting hot. It's getting so hot.
It won't be much longer now, Julie. Get ready.
And just what might you two be up to?
Oh, hello, Martin.
How about telling me what's going on here, please?
We just wanted to...
We wanted to see the engines, and then all of a sudden, all this light appeared.
Jules, I don't know whether you've got anything to do with all this, but if you have, you've endangered the whole ship because there's a warship heading straight for us right now, and it's sure to do everything in its power to stop us.
But we never meant to hurt anyone, Martin. All we were trying to do was get the boat to China as quickly as possible.
Nobody will get to China if this ship ends up at the bottom of the ocean. Do you understand what I'm saying?
What do you mean by that? The engine room was glowing. I gave an order. Full speed ahead. Full speed at once. Do you hear me?
I'm sorry, Captain, but Mr. Valente says we've lost all power.
We'll get some power even if I have to stoke the engines myself. And heaven help anyone stupid enough to stand in my way. Stand by the cannons, Mr. Bonacera. I'll give the order to fire from the engine room. Now, is that clear?
Aye, aye, sir.
They've got cannons on their main deck, Captain.
Cannons, huh? No, I'm quite sure the ship's been taken by terrorists.
What are the orders, Captain, sir?
Blow that ship out of the water, Mr. Butari, and right away. Those munitions will be better off at the bottom of the sea than in terrorists' hands.
Aye, aye, sir.
Will the Genoa escape from the clutches of the warship? Will Jules and Julie still be able to stop their boat from being sunk? Don't miss the next episode of the fantastic adventures of Jules and Julie, the Twins of Destiny.